Hello. So, welcome to VEDO Day 9. Doing the flip video today. Hopefully the video quality is better. They've been pretty bad lately. Let's see, things are a little crazy lately. Right after I did that update on the baby-led weaning video, all of a sudden Luther started crying like non-stop during meals. And I don't know why, like it's some combined, like he's like frustrated that I'm trying to feed him, and he's frustrated that he's hungry, and he doesn't like oatmeal, and I just keep trying to give it to him because I can't believe he doesn't like it. So I'm not sure what's going on. I remember Joel had a lot of crying around the age of 5 months as well. There's just so many factors. I mean, he could be teething. It could be, starting solids really is hard on their belly. I mean, breast milk is so easily digestible. So, I mean, I think that's a big part of it too. Their poop is changing and they're uncomfortable. Their belly's uncomfortable. So, it could be that. Judah, I think, is also getting some teeth. I think he's finally getting his 2-year molars, and he is just not obeying and listening very well right now. I mean, he's 24 months, so that's what they do. But he's just a little bit... he tests my patience big time. And then Joel's pretty good. Joel's been pretty well, although he did have one spanking today at the grocery store. But hey, it's worth it for the long run and the short run. Because after that, he was much better behaved, and he actually obeyed and listened. We did go into the bathroom, of course. I didn't just, spank him right there in public, because you can't do that. Anyway, I was going to do a video today. I am going to do a video today about my experience with the reflux baby. We have had 3 babies with reflux, all 3 of our boys, some degree of reflux, and with Luther, we decided to treat it a little bit differently. We've done everything differently with him, and so I decided I didn't want to do medication with him, and so I'm just going to share a little bit about that experience. The first week or first few days with all of them, they spit up, even colostrum, they'll spit up like crazy. But I wasn't concerned with any of them, just because I knew that was normal, and if they were gaining weight, they seemed comfortable, it was fine, and they did, so everything was fine. Then around 2 months old, Judah, Joel, and Luther started just crying more and more and more. I know that's kind of what babies do at 2 months, but it just seemed to correlate with their feeds. Judah was actually arching back a lot. They would cry kind of lowering them flat. They were still sleeping through the night, which is awesome, especially at 2 months old. But it just seemed like they were like a painful cry, like uncomfortable. So with Joel and Judah, we did Maalox. We tried Maalox at first, and then it didn't really work, and so we went to Zantac, which is a pain, and it's a medication, and it's 3 times a day, and it's for a long time. So, and it's medication. I don't like it. So, with Luther, he started crying and acting uncomfortable around 2 months old. I started thinking about a few things. What in my diet had changed at that time. I was thinking, is there anything I'm eating or drinking more of? And there was one thing. It was coffee. I was just drinking more and more and more coffee. I was up to 3 cups a day, and it's Starbucks, and that's a lot of caffeine. If you drink coffee and you breastfeed, you only get 1%. The baby only gets 1%, which is not a lot of caffeine, but if you have a crazy sensitive baby like Luther, they could react to that. So he was just spitting up way more and just acting really uncomfortable. And I finally figured out it was the caffeine. Another thing that kind of goes along with that is knowing that whatever you're eating or drinking reaches the baby in between 4 and 6 hours. So one thing I noticed with Luther was in the morning when he woke up and nursed, everything was fine. From this, because that first feeding didn't have the caffeine in it, because I'm not drinking coffee overnight. So, but then quickly after that, I mean, the next feeding, literally the 10 o'clock feeding would already, like, he would be fussing like crazy, and then pretty much the rest of the day. So keep that in mind, the 4 to 6 hour thing. And then another big thing to look at, more so than caffeine, the number one most allergic food in the US is milk, cow's milk. Blech. Cow's milk is horrible. I don't think it's good for us at all. Look up casein. It's not a good protein for us. Anyway, so if you're eating a lot of cow's milk and cheese specifically, don't worry about eggs too much, but milk and cheese, think about maybe cutting those back pretty drastically, if not completely take them out of your diet. And that might really help your baby's reflux if you have some issues. And I looked into that first and really cut those down, but I don't really eat much many cow's milk products anyway, so it wasn't really the issue, it was the caffeine. So look into both of those things. Maybe those will help you. Another thing was, let's see. This is probably big. This is probably one of the biggest besides the caffeine. We got Luther on a really good quality probiotic. Needs to be 10 billion or more. Let's see, I'll show you the one that we have. It's fantastic, and it like dissolves in his mouth, so he's not gonna like choke on it, even though it's powdery. You do have to keep it in the refrigerator, so that's really kind of annoying, especially when you're traveling. But I mean, it dissolves really easily, and it tastes good. I've tasted it, and that worked wonders. Oh my goodness! So he would spit up just as much when he had the probiotic. Like, he would spit up the same amount of times per day. Let's say probably about 25 times a day he would spit up. But he wouldn't cry about it. And I could even sometimes sneak in a little bit of caffeine if I did that. But I pretty much haven't been doing the caffeine. Although I discovered green tea, and it's a completely different type of caffeine. Like, it's metabolized different by the body. And so he's actually been doing fine with that. Although he's much older now. He's almost 6 months, and I've read that sometimes the sensitivities can kind of go away with age. So it could be that too. But okay, so let me show you the probiotic that we use. It's fantastic. I'm going to go over here to the fridge. It's Klaire Labs. I don't know if you can see that. Klaire Labs ther-biotic infant formula, and you can see it says 10 billion CFUs. So definitely look into getting a really good probiotic if your baby has reflux. There are studies that show that the probiotics can really help, and we definitely noticed that they helped. Another thing is positioning. If your baby has reflux, it really helps to elevate their head, and we would do that with the boppy. So we were constantly, our babies were living on the boppy the first like 6 months of life, and they would even sleep at night, or Luther slept at night on the boppy. Joel and Judah didn't because we gave them the medication, but Luther, because we didn't give him Zantac, we had him on the boppy all night long. So I'm going to show you how we do that with a boppy here and with Luther. So here's the boppy, and I'm going to take it over to Luther, through the house, and over to the baby. Hi, buddy. Hi. All right, let's see. Gonna drag him over with one hand here. Oh, goodness, what is Mommy doing, huh? Oh, you pooped. I can smell it. All right, so here he is. He is laying with his head in the middle of the boppy, and his legs are kind of extended there. Now, when they get bigger, if they kick their legs a lot, they slide down. So it helps to put like a blanket like underneath their bottom right here. Underneath their bottom. You like it when I do that? You silly. And it helps them to not slide as much. You can tell he likes it. He's spent a lot of time in that position. So that is my experience with the reflux baby, and I hope this video helped you. Bye-bye.